If you could bottle smells like spices, how would you use them? Not just soapy air freshener or citrusy cologne, but freshly baked bread and the crushing realization that you forgot your wallet, or new tires, gasoline, and the infinite potential of a road trip to nowhere. We've managed to communicate sights and sounds over vast distances, but today we visit a world where they hit on a way to get the smell of fresh sawdust and the misplaced optimism of a DIY project from the cover of Popular Tinkering magazine straight to your nose. It's the Aromatic Archive, where every printed page tells a story you can smell. There's nothing like the smell of breakfast cooking in the morning, but when you mix in news that's less than savory and it assaults your nose as soon as it hits your eyes, it can make you want to fold the whole thing up. Existential Dread is a very quick read. But let's go back to this box before Pandora got restless. In the mid-19th century, in the golden age of invention, the lipid press retrofitted Gutenberg's design with vats of volatile, time-released essence. The Dickens novel didn't just get ink, it received a high-pressure injection of London fog and industrial optimism, stabilized in microscopic droplets of whale oil and ambergris, a process later refined to circumvent harm to whales themselves. The breakthrough had come from Malachi Leach, a spice trader tired of reading flat, odorless travelogues. Standing on the deck of a clipper ship hauling nutmeg off the Zanzibar coast, he realized a book about the ocean shouldn't just describe the sea, it should exhale it. He spent his fortune figuring out how to trap the smell of a 3-month voyage into a single page of cotton rag paper. In an editorial compromise, offers of donations of work garments, bedding sheets, and galley gruel remains from the enthusiastic crew of the HMS Meerkat were kindly declined in favor of milder substitutes of umbrella fabric and hominy grits to accommodate some readers' more delicate sensibilities. The 19th century botanical guides were the first big hit. One look at an engraving of a sorrowing willow, and the room fills with the scent of damp earth and a very specific Victorian-era melancholy. The watershed moment was the scented publication of Melville's Moby Dick. In this world, the release of such a book wasn't just a cultural event, it was a sensory milestone that briefly caused an increase in worker sick days, likely due to a kind of intoxication from sudden exposure to the new technology's fruits. A dry book is a dead world, so books came with inserts explaining how to keep the aroma around. With a steady hand and a leech-patterned syringe, you could wake the ghosts in the timed-release lipid capsules. One drop of concentrate into the spine, and suddenly the 1880s aren't just history, they're filling your lungs again, even with industrial soot. The fanning is the most important part of the ritual. In this case, it's the sound of the ocean coming home to roost in your bookshelf. It let the magic really flow. The 19th century woodblock print of a sea serpent carries a heavy cargo. It smells of salt-crusted timber, old-growth pine, and the terrifying realization that the ocean is much deeper than the map suggests. In this branch of history, public libraries came to have scent vents to clear the air between chapters. Otherwise, the building would just smell like a very confused perfume factory. The late return stamp has a very specific odor. It's a mix of violet ink pads, dry shelf dust, and the mounting pressure of a $4 fine you have absolutely no intention of paying. Bookstores are a sensory overload. The romance section is a dizzying mix of vanilla, sandalwood, and desperate musk. A plot twist is a sudden shift from fresh lilacs to burning rubber. It can be quite a shock to the sinuses. This literary critic needs no introduction. He spent 3 hours reading a cookbook about fish, and now he won't leave the kitchen. This recipe for apple pie is a time machine. It doesn't just list ingredients, it emits the scent of scorched cinnamon in the exact moment someone's grandmother realized she'd forgotten the sugar in 1954. Even the most boring receipt tells a story. This one for a ham sandwich smells of yellow mustard, lukewarm tea, and the quiet rhythmic ticking of a half-hour lunch break. The modern postal carrier isn't just hauling paper, they're a pack mule for the neighborhood's emotional dissonance. A satchel full of overdue notices reeks of cold copper and low-grade panic. Sandwich that between a lavender-scented love note and the desperate glossy adhesive of an urgent final offer coupon, and by noon you're walking around inside a volatile cloud of other people's problems. And to the canine nose, an instrument designed for absolute truth, the 11 a.m. delivery isn't an intruder, it's a walking paradox. Carrier approaches smelling simultaneously of tax audits, pepperoni pizza flyers, and someone else's heartbreak. That frenzy at the front gate isn't aggression, it's a narrative sensory overload. Doggos deserve our sympathy for trying to make sense of 40 different pleas for attention at once. A telegram can be a shot of fresh air across time and space. Dry cleaning receipts can be a privatized secret weapon, strong bleach notwithstanding. Blueprints are the coldest things in the building. They smell of sharp ammonia, graphite dust, and the lonely high-altitude whistle of a wind that hasn't even arrived yet. A head cold is the ultimate literary critic. It doesn't just block your nose, it redacts the world. To the scent redacted, the daily discrepancy is a silent film with the subtitles missing. Just cold, flavorless ink and the hollow rustle of a story you can no longer hear. Though for those living with more permanent conditions, their reading sense is actually all the more keen. Colds and other unfortunate conditions were the original impetus for wearing scent amplifiers, but just like sunglasses, the adjustable odor-canceling type quickly found many uses, ironically including improving pure reading skills for the jaded. Nose-eye coordination became an indispensable part of brain training.
To the editor, I am writing this through a haze of mentholated steam and utter irritation. Last Thursday, while waiting for the crosstown bus, a gentleman...
But instead of just treating your cold symptoms, your doctor would probably tell you to take 2 pages of the history of eucalyptus and call them in the morning. As we come to the end of our story, just a reminder to please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and fan the pages for a nice long sleep.